All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome back. Ready for another deep dive.
Always.
Today, we're going to be taking a look at a 2023 horror film called When Evil Lurks.
Oh, yeah, I saw a review of that on MovieKaTicket.
Yep, that's the one. Are you ready to get into all the demonic and disturbing stuff?
Absolutely, let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, the MovieKaTicket review called this not your typical possession story, and they brought up this idea of rotten.
Oh, yeah, rotten, yeah. So it's not like, like a typical demon possession story where a demon just, takes over a person. It's like these people become these, incubators for this, demonic entity.
Well, so they're like a host?
Yeah, like a host body.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Wow, that's creepy. So how does the film actually, show this rotten concept? What makes it so scary to actually watch?
Well, they do a really good job of playing on our fears, like the fear of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
They don't actually show you the demon until the very end.
Oh, right. Yeah, so the horror comes from watching the possessed people transform and their bodies contort and decay and stuff.
That's so disturbing.
Yeah.
Ugh. And the review mentioned that this whole thing is going down in rural Argentina.
Right.
Which just makes it even more terrifying.
Yeah, imagine being stuck in this nightmare.
With no one around to help.
Exactly. You're totally isolated.
Yeah. It gives me chills just thinking about
it. But, that isolation, it kind of makes you think about community and, the responsibility we have to each other.
No, that's a good point.
These characters are all kind of forced to deal with this evil together,
Well,
whether they want to or not.
And their choices affect everyone around them.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of choices, the review talks about some pretty intense moral dilemmas that the characters have to face.
Yeah.
So it starts with these two brothers.
Pedro and Jamie.
Right, Pedro and Jamie.
Yeah.
And they stumble upon this horrifying scene.
Yeah, a disemboweled corpse.
Oof, yeah, and that's their first encounter with a rotten grub. And things just kind of spiral out of control from there.
Totally.
And their families get involved, and then there's this former demon cleaner.
Oh, yeah, he's an interesting character.
Yeah. Was there any, dilemma that really stood out to you?
Well, the cleaner character is super interesting to me. Because he's this jaded guy who's seen it all.
Yeah.
So he knows how dangerous this stuff is. And he's torn between wanting to help and protecting himself.
Right.
So it adds this moral ambiguity to the whole film.
Oh, I see. Yeah. The review also highlighted the performances of the actors who played Pedro and Jamie.
Yeah, Ezequiel, Rodríguez, and Demián Salomon.
Right. And it sounds like they really brought a lot of emotion to their roles.
Absolutely. Their performances really make you feel the strain on their brotherhood as they go through all this craziness.
Wow. So not only is it scary, but it's got some serious emotional depth, too.
Definitely.
So overall, MovieKaTicket gave it 4.5 stars.
Wow.
Sounds like it's being really well received by horror fans.
That's awesome. You know what I think is really cool about it?
What's that?
It manages to be both terrifying and, thought-provoking at the same time.
Yeah, that's a tough balance to strike.
Right. But it doesn't shy away from the gore and all the psychological stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it also explores, what fear does to people and what happens when we don't do anything.
So it's a horror film with a message.
Yeah, in a way.
Interesting. So for those of you who are brave enough to check it out, When Evil Lurks is streaming on Shudder.
But just a warning.
Yeah.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart.
Like we've been saying, it's pretty intense stuff.
Definitely. But it will stay with you.
Yeah, I bet.
It really makes you think about how you would react in a situation like that.
Right, would you be paralyzed by fear?
Or would you rise to the challenge?
That's a great question to leave everyone with. What would you do when evil lurks? Thanks for joining us for another deep dive, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.